This is the new Xiaomi Su7 Ultra, and it is the fastest mass-produced four-door EV sedan with over 1500 horsepower. Oops. Yes, that's right, this car has got me slightly worried. Speaking of which, around the Nürburgring, ow, I thought we'd stopped all that. That is the question, old 991. It's posted a time of 7 minutes and 4 seconds. By comparison, the fastest time a Tesla Model S has done round the Nürburgring is 7 minutes 25 seconds. But that's not the most amazing thing about this car, it's the price. It starts from the equivalent of £50,000 in China. It's the quarter of a price of a Porsche Taycan Turbo GT over there. Now when they sell it in Europe eventually, it's probably going to be about £80,000, but still, that amount of performance for the money is not bad. Or is it? Well, I'm going to be taking this car for a drive to find out. Joining the Autobahn, frickin' heck. I'll also time it from 0 to 60 miles an hour and race it against some insane tuned cars to see how quick it is over the standing quarter mile. But this does not go to plan. He's just blown his engine. Is it f***ed? I'm Matt Watson and you're watching CarWow. Xiaomi is famous for making electronic goods such as mobile phones and scooters and that kind of thing. The Su7 is their first ever car. This is the Ultra version. You can think of the Su7 as being a Porsche Taycan. The Ultra is the Taycan Turbo GT. Do you know what? They've taken some inspiration from some other car manufacturers. The lights, for instance, very much McLaren 720S. Now this being the Ultra, you have this bigger, more aggressive front apron, so it improves battery cooling by 10% over the standard cars. Let's move around to the side and we'll see some Porsche bits coming in, right? That font is very Porsche. This bit is very much Porsche Taycan. You've got carbon fibre here and on the door mirrors. What's it, £50,000? Side profile is very Porsche Taycan-y. Looks good though, doesn't it? These door handles seem quite Porsche, although they don't flip out. They're just like touch sensitive. Okay, you can get it with a carbon fibre roof. This one has the glass roof. Alloy wheel sizes, let's just see, these are 21s. Quite a nice design. Oh, I should point this out. Carbon ceramic brakes as standard. £50,000 car. Moving to the back, this one has the upgraded optional rear wing. If you don't have this rear wing, you actually have this bootlit spoiler there which can move up and down. What is interesting, once again, for £50,000, this diffuser moves up and down. Look at that, electronically activated rear diffuser flap. There's so much going on with this car, it's mad. As you can see from the inside, it matches the outside. We've got two-tone effect here with yellow contrasting. It's really, really quite nice. Material quality is generally pretty good as well. There are some of the plastics which feel a little bit more budgety, especially when you go lower down, but overall, look, I mean, we've got carbon fibre on here, Alcantara headlining, carbon fibre on the steering wheel, and Alcantara, it's amazing. And I want to show you this cool feature. So you've got this little display there that shows the outline of the car. If I put that key card there and then touch the brake, watch this. Yay, that rotates to give me my digital driver's display. Obviously we've got heads-up display as well, and it's a massive heads-up display. It's huge. And you've got this big screen here. It's all in Chinese, so I don't understand it. But there is a little engineering hack, right? Most people won't know this. See this here? If I keep on pressing that a lot, it should make, there we go. And then it's going to change to English. Now it's in English. And so you've got all these different menus. As you can see, the responsiveness of this screen is pretty impressive, but that's always the way with the Chinese cars. They have really fast processors, they're really good at the tech. We've also got like Apple CarPlay and stuff, and oh, look at the cameras. Look at the definition of the cameras. Once again, need to remind you, £50,000. Okay, what else do you need to know? So, how do you move the steering wheel? Oh, you probably have to do it through a blooming screen. Right, let's see if we can figure it out. Oh, I've just opened the bonnet. That was a mistake. So it doesn't just pop up like a Tesla, then you have to do it by hand. It does it electrically, and I can shut it again. How do you do the steering column? I will come back to that in a moment, see if I can figure it out. One thing that I don't have to figure out, fan speed there, temperature control here. So that is nice, easy, quick access button. This is actually for the rear diffuser to make it go up and down. And then there's this one here, which is for the suspension. We've got air suspension, so we can raise it or lower it using this little button here. Practicality wise, well, we've got two cup holders there. Look. Grip your bottle, and then we've got big door bins, which is nice. Look, there we go. Underneath here we have some more storage. Under here we have even more storage. Look at that. There's more storage in here, so some kind of weird cup holder there, and the secret storage just in this compartment, plus 12-volt socket and wireless charging here, which is cool, which is handy because you've got 50-watt wireless charging. Speaking of which, my phone really does need a charge, so I'll just whack that on there. And we've got USB-Cs there, which are 67 watts. Got a glove box in here. No trickery to open it like on a Tesla. You don't have to do it through the screen. But I'm still trying to figure out how I move the steering wheel. I feel like I need a car button on there. How do I go back to that menu down the side?
So I think the Chinese button is setting button is like that. The grey one, yeah.
Oh.
That's the setting.
Oh, do you know
Then you have
what? I thought that was... Because this is just... Wait a minute. So that's not Apple CarPlay or Apple Maps. That has clearly stolen a little bit of the font from Apple, hasn't it? Let's be honest. Right, so here we go. Controls. Because this menu layout is pretty much like a Tesla. There we go, just steering wheel position. And now I can do it. There we are. That's better. Good. We got there in the end. Forgot to say, sport seats as standard. Interesting thing about the sport seats is they have these side bolsters which actually grip you as you go around a corner, so they move in and out when you're turning the steering wheel. So much kit for the money. So I'm quite impressed with the front seats. What they're going to be like in the back though. It's very roomy here in the back seats. It's also very much like a Tesla Model S, to be fair, with this glass roof. Headroom, you know, I'm 5'10". It's all right. Knee room's really good. I really like these carbon back bucket seats. Oh, and they've got these little things where you can hang things off, like, I don't know, your iPad or something. Once again, can't believe the price. We've got more carbon fibre here, and like the whole feel of the car just extends all the way into the rear, like with the two-tone effect, the Alcantara, the leather, the loveliness. I mean, look at the grab handles, they just feel so expensive. What else do you need? Oh, look, failed to point out, colour-coded seat belts. Like that. We've got ISOFIX anchor points there, so it should be nice and easy to fit a child seat. You've got cup holders here, which is good. And let's just check how far will it go. Oh, that's not very good, is it? Only that far down. It's not loads of foot space. I do think that the seats are quite low to the floor because of the batchback underneath, so under thigh support isn't great, and it's hard to stretch out a little bit into under the seat in front because the seats are quite low down. Any other grumbles? Oh, you've got two USBs there, and that's where you hold your mobile phone. Look, I'll show you. Look, just see if it'll fit my bulky Samsung. Yeah, look, fine. I wonder if there's practicality issues in the boot though. The boot capacity is 454 litres, which is slightly larger than the equivalent Porsche Taycan sedan. If you want to see my full video review of that car, along with a load of other electric cars where we check out their range as well, click on the pop-out banner up there or scan the QR code on screen now. There's also a link in the description of this video. Anyway, the boot is quite a square shape. The opening for a saloon is pretty large as well. There's some storage nets. There's a 12-volt socket in there. Extra storage under there. You can keep your charging cables hidden away in there. Plus, look, you can fold down the rear seats. So I'll just go round, pull on a lever in here. Hello. Now let's go to the front. You've already seen me open the front boot using the screen, but there's actually a little button there as well. Look, press that. Ah, it's good to have options, isn't it? And it's not the deepest front boot, but it is quite big. In fact, Rory,
I thought you wanted to know how big it was.
no, I do want to know how big it is, mate. I do.
What do I do? Get in like
Just
that?
get in.
And he went in face first.
I want you to sort of not just sit in it. I want you to kind of like see if you can get in like sort of this way.
This way.
Just that sort of way. Do you know why it's not so deep? It's because you've got a motor under there for all the added performance.
Good to know.
Let's
Good
check.
to know if it had anti-pinch.
It will have anti-pinch. Do you want to find out if it's got anti-pinch?
I'd love to.
Okay.
Oh no, I've just forgotten. I thought you were going to do it yourself.
Get ready to shout. Yeah. See, you're safe.
Thank you very much.
We knew that, didn't we, Jack?
Yeah.
We definitely knew that, didn't we? We didn't know that. We didn't know that at all. And there was something else I spotted while I was messing around in the front boot. So if you look on here, there's a little plaque. It says 27,000 RPM. That's important because on most electric cars, the motor will probably spin up to about 21,000 RPM. And then it's got like the kilowatts there, 1,138, which I think must mean like 1,500 horsepower. And then the torque figure, which is quite colossal. The entry-level Su7 has a single motor producing 299 horsepower and 400 Newton meters of torque. But this Ultra model uses 3 motors, 2 on the rear axle and 1 on the front, like a Tesla Model S Plaid. However, instead of 1,020 horsepower and 1,420 Newton meters of torque like the Tesla, the Xiaomi has 1,548 horsepower and 1,770 Newton meters of torque. That's more power and more torque than you get from a Bugatti Chiron. So let's see what it feels like with a good old-fashioned carwow drag race against a very highly tuned Nissan and Lamborghini. I'll time these cars over the standing quarter mile, and I'll also reveal how quickly this Su7 accelerates from 0 to 60 miles an hour. Let's find out about that GTR from its driver who's got a crash helmet on. GTR driver, can you tell me about your car?
It's a 4.1 R35 GTR, so it's a fully built car. We run power-wise 14 to 1500.
Just to clarify, is that at the crank or is it the wheels?
It depends who asking. No, it's 1500 to the wheel, yeah.
Whoa, 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 whoa! That's cheating. So you got about 1800 at the blooming crank. That's not fair. How much torque do you have at the wheels?
We have around 1700 Newton meters to the wheel.
Right, this doesn't feel fair right now. And how much is all the work on that car?
I don't want to tell that to my wife, but I think it's going to be around 200,000 beside the car.
And then the car on top, and the car is probably what, about like 50, 60,000 euros?
They're in Europe quite expensive, so like 60, 65,000, yeah.
Almost 300 grand all in for that car. It better be bloody quick. Okay, what's your name though? And just tell us who's done the car.
My name is Sandro. I'm the owner of Street Performance Switzerland, and we're like a GTR shop, basically just doing GTRs day in, day out. We do other cars as well, but we're well known for the GTR, so everyone is coming with their GTRs.
Okay, over to the Lamborghini. Can you tell me about your car?
Hey, my name is Julian. I only the driver from this car, not the owner. The car has a 5.0 engine. We have 1500 horsepower with 1.4, 1.5 bars of boost, and this a manual car, yes.
Is it four-wheel drive?
Yes, it's four-wheel drive, yes.
You've got, what, 1500 horsepower? I thought it was like 1700 horsepower.
No, I think 1400, 1500, so.
Is that at the wheels or is that at the crank?
At the wheels.
So 1700 horsepower at the crank. Okay, GTR, rev your engine. It's a very nice V6. Okay, Lamborghini, rev your V10. Very nice V10. I don't make any noise, but I do win drag races, so let's do it. This struggle for traction there. He's just blown his engine. That engine's just blown up. God, this gets faster. Good start there. I can't believe this car is only like £50,000. Is your car dead?
Don't say GTRs.
Has your car just blown up? Was that 200,000 euros? It went.
When we did the test run, we had like lower boost on the laptop, and after I started the car again, we hear the noise, like the turbo is like, ee! I talked to my tuner like, yeah, what could we do? I mean, just run it, you know? And it heard like one of the turbos is gone.
You are winning. This thing gets faster, right? So it's unusual for electric car. Normally they all go at first and they tail off. I don't know if I'd have beaten you. You were off the line better because this just, it spun its wheels a bit. Did yours spin?
Yeah.
What should we do with your car now?
I put the laptop on it, see what it is, and
But it won't start.
maybe the computer prevents it to start.
Is it a fuse? And you think that's going to fix it?
Both of them.
Both of them. Will it work then?
Yeah.
So we're going to drive?
Yeah.
Let's go. So he's not fixed the car yet. He's got to do a bit more work to it, but we need to race because they're going to shut the runway. So it's just me and the Lamborghini. Struggle for traction, and again. I mean, that Lambo's got no chance. Has he broken? I know this can go quicker. Alright, so the GTR is now back in it. Will it run? We don't know. We're just going to do another drag race to see. So it could be interesting. Whoa, that Lambo went. Come on, what happened there? I was like sleeping. This car overheated and didn't perform that time.
I've experienced this problem before when I raced this car against the Tesla Model S Plaid. If you launch it over and over again repeatedly, the battery can get too hot. If this happens, the car starts to reduce the power output of the motors to protect the battery. As a result, the GTR won. It completed the standing quarter mile in 9.1 seconds. The Lamborghini took 10 seconds, and the Xiaomi was last with a time of 10.5 seconds. However, in the earlier races, when the Xiaomi was able to run the full 1,548 horsepower, it completed the standing quarter mile in 9.4 seconds. That's the same time I got from a Bugatti Chiron Pure Sport. During that quarter mile run, the Xiaomi accelerated from 0 to 60 miles an hour in 2.79 seconds. That's slower than Xiaomi's claim time of 1.98 seconds, but it's still pretty incredible when you remember this car costs £50,000. However, it isn't perfect.
Xiaomi used to offer a carbon bonnet for this car as an optional extra for £4,000 with a scoop on it. Everyone thought, oh, that feeds air into the car somehow, and it's obviously a performance add-on. Turns out that it wasn't, and in the end, people who bought that actual upgrade got really cross about it, sent their cars back to Xiaomi. Big hoo-ha, and Xiaomi ended up just like removing that option from the list because it was a bit of a shameful thing to do. If you look on there, you'll see this lump. That houses the car's LiDAR system. That's because it's got really high-tech self-driving capabilities. Unfortunately, you don't get to use those when you're driving it in Europe right now. You just have to rely on normal adaptive cruise control. Yeah, that's one thing that's bad about having this car in Europe as opposed to China. Another one is this. So, to charge it in Europe, you're going to need an adapter like this. Slot it there into the DC charging. Now in China, these things can charge at almost 500 kilowatts, but once you're using this adapter, it falls down to 130 kilowatts. There's a lot of chat on Chinese car forums that if you have a Huawei phone, it does take a while for it to connect to the Xiaomi system. If you've got a Xiaomi phone, it's fine. If you've got an iPhone, it's fine. You get in the car, just recognize it straight away. So why does this happen with a Huawei phone? Apparently it's all to do with the fact that Xiaomi and Huawei have a bit of a Chinese beef going on. The rear view camera is quite low down and there's no washer for it, so when it's really rainy and dirty, it can get a bit like covered in crap. So to clean it off, you have to get out of the car and wipe it with your finger the old-fashioned way like that. The performance brakes on this car can be a little bit squeaky. Have a listen. On if we drive forward, brakes, see, and let's go back. And forward again. See? A bit squeaky.
But it's not all bad news because this car has plenty of cool features, some of which I've never seen before.
The Xiaomi badge here on the front is made from carbon fibre and 24 karat gold. You might be thinking, why aren't people just stealing these? And there's a good reason for it. First of all, people don't tend to steal in China, and there's a rule that if you steal something that's over 500 quid in value, then it's an instant jail sentence. The price of this? Just over 500 quid. Ah, see what they did there? The case for the battery is actually bulletproof. Why? Well, it's to prevent, like, if you have an accident, the battery getting damaged and there being a fire. To illustrate just how strong this casing is, the CEO of Xiaomi at one of their factories dropped a watermelon encased in the same material as the battery surround off a 6-story building, and the watermelon was just fine. Here's a clip of it.
这就是我们刚才摔下来的西瓜，哇，这个西瓜，看看一点问题都没有，你看。
See? This car has loads of different driving modes. It's so confusing that I've actually got Kanan here who owns the car to talk us through it. So go on, explain.
This is the normal roll setup. Normally you have economy, standard and sport, which
So,
has
how much horsepower?
300 something horsepower. Standard I think is 500 horsepower.
Yep.
Sport about 900 horsepower. Whichever mode, you just press the boost, it goes to 1000 horsepower with the boost.
Okay, got that.
Yeah.
What about 1500 horsepower though?
Then we have to go to the race app, which means that there is a separate app, but they will advise you to use it just in a racetrack.
Yeah.
Trackmaster, and you have different track modes, which is called rank or qualifying, I would say. The second one is endurance.
Okay, so how much horsepower in qualifying?
In qualifying is 1,500 horsepower.
That's the full power.
Actually, it's 1,300 something horsepower because it's 1,000 kilowatt.
Okay.
And if you press again the boost, it's 1,548 horsepower.
Okay,
That's
so you
the
go into
full
rank and then you press the boost and you have the full horsepower out.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then with this one, you go on Nordschleife on Nürburgring.
Yep.
It's one lap.
Yep.
It's possible. And then the endurance, which has around 800 horsepower.
Okay.
This one you can go Nordschleife 2.
Okay.
That's Nürburgring. Drift, I think, is full rear-wheel drive. And inside the app, you have different settings: response of the power, the steering feeling, regenerative braking, which means that you have more challenging heat goes into the battery, but you have better braking. And front and rear power distribution. Normally I put it in auto, but you can also put it in manual.
And make the car front wheel drive.
Exactly, you can make it. Exactly. But also directly go to drift if you want full rear wheel drive.
So you want to go rear wheel drive all that way for drifting. Okay, also if you're going to take this car on track, you can get a track pack which includes upgraded brake pads, more aggressive sporty track tyres, and rather than the standard air suspension, you get coilover springs. This car has the best vanity mirror on any car I've ever been in. I mean, first of all, just look at the size of it. And then there's functionality. So I can change the brightness of the mirror. We'll probably go less bright because I'm old. And I can change the tone, so less harsh. Let's go for something a bit warmer, once again, because I'm old. So you can get it just right for whatever makeup you're trying to apply or how much you just want to deny what you really look like. The car has 4 different sound modes. I'm going to give you the first one, which of course is no sound. So just drive forwards and backwards just slightly. Then go backwards. So all you've got is the slight noise that you get from electric cars to warn people that they're approaching. Stop. Okay, next one, we're going to put it into classic sound. So you get like a rumble from an exhaust. So we've got a speaker at the back, like a V8. Now just pull away, go forwards and backwards. So it's a little bit like a nice car, then go back. And the next one is electronic. It's like a mixture of like a V8 and something a little bit more sci-fi. Speaking of sci-fi, that is the name of the final sound. Let's have a listen to that one. That sounds a little bit like a Porsche Taycan. You've got 4 options there.
You can tell this car was made by a company that usually makes phones. And just with the phone, you'll probably never use the majority of these settings and features. But there is one thing that I absolutely would be using all the time in the Xiaomi, even on normal roads like this.
I've got this car set up in track mode in rank, also known as qualifying, which means that when I press this button here, I have the full 1,550 horsepower, and yet I'm just poodling around the streets in a 30km/h zone. Seems a bit like overkill. I think it's going to drop down to 1,300 horsepower now once this boost level disappears. Oh no, I've only got 1,300 horsepower. Actually, it's quite easy to just poodle about in. It's always scary when the Germans do that to you. I'm trying to find out bumps to see what the suspension's like. Obviously we've got air suspension. There's some bumps. You don't find many in German roads. Seems alright at lower speeds. It does have a slightly taut feeling to it, but then that's what you'd expect from a sporty high-performance car like this. The throttle pedal doesn't seem too aggressive. It seems nicely tuned. Often with Chinese cars they can be a little bit off in the way that they calibrate stuff. At these lower speeds it seems fine, including the steering. Brakes, pretty intense, but quite progressive too. This, I think, feels like the most dialed in electric car from China that I've driven so far.
But while the Xiaomi suspension was giving me plenty to feel positive about, I had noticed a few problems.
I'm not sure about this noise I've chosen. Let's get rid of it. Oh, f it, I don't know. Not going to mess around now, I'm driving. It's hard to hit those icons when you're driving. Quite impressed so far. Normally you can tell within a like few hundred meters whether a car drives all right, and this one seems to. It is heavy, weighs in at 2.3 tons, but it's got a big battery, 93 kilowatt hours, good for a range of just under 400 miles on a full charge. Obviously not when you're in the track mode with rank settings selected. Oh God. It's quite a wide car, but the low dash means that you've got a really good forward visibility. Yeah, the back window is not so good though. It's quite interesting, when I put my foot down, it doesn't feel like I've got 1,770 Newton meters of torque. Look. Oh no, it did then. Oh yeah, oh it does now. I think it's just managing the power. Let's try and boost. Frickin' heck. I can feel it just spinning its wheels a bit. That's with the stability control on. Do you know what? It doesn't have like the snappy head back madness of something like a Tesla Model S Plaid. It seems a bit more progressive, and the pad just builds, so it doesn't make you feel quite so sick, but it's certainly got the performance once it's hooked up. Whoa! It's like they've programmed it to be more like an internal combustion engine car rather than an electric car with a sudden like neck snapping effect that you get. I prefer that.
Unfortunately, you can't buy Xiaomis in the UK yet, but they do plan to start selling cars in Europe in 2027.
Right, bud. Joining the Autobahn. I can just, whoa, just scoot past other cars so quickly. You really notice the difference when you're in boost mode or not in boost mode. In fact, floor it, hit boost, and then it just takes off. Wow. Bit of wind noise. We're cruising along at 130, having to slow it down to 100 because that's what the speed limit says for some reason, though I don't know why. That is just mental. It's getting lots of attention, but then it is bright yellow. This thing will do 217 miles an hour. All we need is a bit of de-restricted Autobahn, but just watch the speed climb. You ready? Frickin' heck. It's just berserk. Do you know what? This has a very much a Porsche Taycan feel to it, to the weight of the controls and just how it feels. They've clearly had that car in benchmarking it. What they didn't benchmark was the price. It does feel a bit heavy in the turns. Okay, I've noticed something. The brake pedal can feel a little bit grabby at times. It starts to slow when you first press it, and then there's a point in the travel where it's almost like it switches over from regen to friction braking, and it's like, oh, it suddenly bites. So that takes some getting used to. But it doesn't have like a squidgy feel like you get from some other like Chinese cars. And the steering is definitely the best I've felt in any Chinese car so far to date. It's quite stable and predictable though. Whoa! I am aware of the car's weight. I don't think it handles quite as well as a Porsche Taycan. I don't have quite so much confidence in it. Maybe I would get it a bit more over time, some more time spent with the car. These tyres aren't great though for when they're not warm. They're almost like blooming slick tyres, and they're not warmed up properly, so that is giving me a little bit of nerves. On the standard road tyres I'd probably be alright. Yeah, these brakes are inconsistent. Sometimes it's like it just hauls on the anchors, it's like they're over assisted by a computer and they just suddenly jam on and you can't always judge where it is. It's a shame because the feeling is generally quite good through the brake pedal, but it's just then, it's just like rammed on. It's just odd. I've never seen a road this bad in Germany. It's actually dealing with it all right. You don't need to test it in the UK. This is worse. This is worse than the UK. Germany, be ashamed of yourself. This is probably their dirty little secret. This is just like a British road now. This is bang on. This car will be fine in the UK. Final thoughts on this car. Well, value for money wise, you cannot fault it. How it drives, how it looks, how it's built. This is my favourite car from China so far. If I was in China, £50,000, I would be getting me one of these.